Over the course of 25 years, as sim racing evolved, one brand stood clearly above the rest when it came to quality and performance. Engineered in Germany, Fanatec sold their products worldwide. They brought us collaborations with existing motorsport teams and massive car companies. It made you feel like you were driving a real car in your rig. From innovations such as mass market load cells to direct drive wheelbases, and not only worked on PC but on PlayStation and Xbox as well, Fanatec was clearly top of the tree. There was almost an arrogance with the company, and everyone was waiting to see what products Fanatec would release next. But something went wrong, because Fanatec are no longer top of the tree. So over the last 5 years, I've been buying and flying around the world to see the latest Fanatec products and interview their team to understand what it is that makes Fanatec Fanatec, and what Fanatec need to do if they want to get back at the top of sim racing. That included me interviewing the Fanatec CEO in Germany about failures that Fanatec had made to their long-standing and loyal customers. Now, I was the only journalist in the world to do this, and the story got incredibly interesting, and Fanatec ended up being bought by Corsair. So big changes are due at Fanatec, and in this video we're going to run through what's possible and what they need to do, because the competition is fierce now. You have companies like MOZA, SIMAGIC, THRUSTMASTER, LOGITECH, SIMUCUBE, ASETEK, Conspit, and even new companies like REVOSIM and Thermaltake offering similar products to Fanatec. So let me know what you think of these suggestions, and obviously add any more down below. The first thing we need to see from Fanatec in 2026 and beyond is having screens on their wheels. This is now one of the biggest differentiators from Fanatec to a huge amount of the competition. I think Fanatec actually missed out on a generation of wheels with normal size screens like we've seen on the likes of the MOZA FSR and the Conspit 290 GP, but also now we're seeing companies come in with small displays on their wheels at incredibly low prices. The Porsche Fanatec VGT wheel in the middle here is about $349, while the MOZA KS Pro and CS Pro have a screen in them and they're exactly the same price. So even though the Fanatec wheel has a Porsche badge on it, that's not going to be enough of a carry when their wheels coming out now with screens. Now in sim racing, screens are great for your deltas, for your sim hub, for checking your PC stats, for checking your messages. Screens are just really useful. And also, we've seen in real world motorsport how screens are also in wheels as well, not just in Formula 1 now, but GT cars and lower down as well. Now, I did fly to Las Vegas and see a new Fanatec screen, but it's not exactly what we need for the future. So Fanatec are releasing with Corsair the Xenon Edge. It's a branded Corsair product, but it does integrate on the Fanatec wheelbases and shows you your Fanatec wheelbase settings and does run SimHub. So that is a great first start. In fact, it's one of the widest screens I've ever seen in sim racing, but the next step has to be a screen on the Fanatec wheel with Elgato Stream Deck integration as well. Now, the second thing Fanatec need to do, and this is where Corsair just have to get this right, is customer service. No YouTuber is being honest if they talk about Fanatec and don't recognize the history of customer service issues, whether that's people placing Black Friday orders and not getting them, whether that's people placing orders for bundles but not getting a certain part like a QR, or whether it's the difficulties in sometimes navigating the right combinations of products on the website. For example, making sure you have the right generation of QR. Corsair and Fanatec need to put all of that behind them. The website should be simplified. It should be impossible to buy the wrong bundle. They should phase out the older generation QRs, and they should be generous with customers in offering the new QRs. You can see in this video there's a combination of wheels on the desk, but only one of them, the Porsche wheel in the middle, works with the wheelbase that we have on the left because of the different generations of quick releases. And that's not an issue for MOZA, that's not an issue for Logitech. So Fanatec need to get that right, and they need to go above and beyond for customer service. They might need to give people the benefit of the doubts, because sim racers, we're pretty savvy people. We're spending lots of money on equipment. I've spent thousands of euros on Fanatec equipment. We kind of know what we're doing, and often when we come up against customer service that doesn't quite believe us or is a bit patronizing, it can be a really frustrating experience and we think we'll go elsewhere. So Corsair, who have a good reputation in PC customer service, need to bring that in for Fanatec. In fact, Fanatec needs to become the #1 ranked sim racing company for customer service, because there were so many issues in the past. And I think they can do this with that Corsair integration, with the passionate people they have at Fanatec. It can happen. Right, the third thing is something that Fanatec really need to improve, because I talked at the beginning of this video about how Fanatec was at the top of the tree, but they were never at the top of the tree of this particular area. So make sure to subscribe to my channel for free if you like this video. I bet you've never seen a video like this before, because no one else just tells it how it is. So this is software. There is a massive leap of faith currently you need to take when you're upgrading the firmware on Fanatec products. And Fanatec is trying to upgrade firmware quite a lot because they want to take their products out of older generations and add new features, for example, like full force, add compatibility of all the new sim racing titles that are coming out, like ASETEK Corsa Rally, Le Mans Ultimate, ASETEK Corsa Evo, Rennsport, all these games. But that means you have to go through the firmware update process, which is just pretty horrendous. You have no faith it's going to work. Often there will be issues and you have to restart your PC, and it's definitely a cross your fingers moment. Fanatec need to look at the likes of SIMUCUBE and ASETEK, who in my opinion have by far the best software in sim racing, where updating firmware is a breeze, and they need to make it a breeze for Fanatec products. Because if Fanatec want to be top of the tree again, if they want to be the brand that everyone can recommend just without thinking, you're not going to recommend a product to your mate if you know that you're going to put him through that burden of updating firmware, and he's going to be panicking, he's going to be worrying. So this is a real area for Fanatec to improve that I don't think a lot of people are talking about. They have released a new Fanatec app. Hopefully this is a better platform for them to do this, but the firmware updater needs to massively improve. Now, the next area I'm going to talk about for Fanatec to improve is going to be a bit controversial, because some would say this contributed to the fall of Fanatec, because when I was interviewing Fanatec and investigating Fanatec, I did raise a lot of questions about why Fanatec was spending so much money on sponsorship when the financials of the company didn't look fantastic. However, I think sponsorship of real-world motorsport and visibility of Fanatec at events and on-site locations is actually critical to the future of Fanatec, because Fanatec has to be that trusted brand that you can recommend on PlayStation, Xbox, PC to people who maybe aren't that familiar in sim racing but want to weigh in, and you want to recommend them quality products. And I feel like seeing Fanatec everywhere, seeing it at Formula 1, seeing it on the windshields at GT World Challenge, seeing it at WRC events, I feel like that gives Fanatec a credibility that no other brand can really match. Maybe THRUSTMASTER, maybe LOGITECH have that credibility, but I feel like a lot of the other competitors Fanatec don't yet have that authenticity and like mass market appeal that Fanatec is capable of. So I'd actually like to see Corsair get Fanatec out there more. For example, when you go to the F1 arcade, you're going to be using SimMagic or MOZA products. And I find that pretty insane. Like, Fanatec needs to be getting those contracts so people's touch points for sim racing for the first time is on a Fanatec product. So that's my blueprint for success. Let me know what you think in the comments. You know, I'm always following Fanatec, and we're going to be reviewing their products a lot more in 2026 as well. So I will see you in the next video.